Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Omar Suhail and I'm a student at Rehan School Foundation on Batch 10. Today I will be talking to Sesame AI on the topic alright and how this simple affirmation came to be. So let's talk to Maya.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, it's great. I would like to ask you some questions today. So my first question is, what does the word alright mean in everyday conversations?
In the wild, all right is kind of a shapeshifter. It can be a simple yes or a way of saying something is acceptable, like the food was all right, which usually means it wasn't amazing, but it didn't taste like cardboard either. Then you've got it as a check in, like, are you all right? Which is really asking if you're okay. Do you use it more as a confirmation or a way to check on people?
I just use it as an okay. Okay, my next question is do you think all right and all right, like the with space, like all and right, mean the same thing? Why or why not?
Technically, there's a slight difference in how we use them. All right, is two words usually points to being satisfactory or okay. But all right is one word is more of a modern, informal shorthand. Most grammar purists will tell you it's not a real word, but in reality, everyone uses it in texts and emails. Does that sound like a distinction you'd notice in your own writing?
Maybe. Where do you think the word all right originally came from?
Wait, did you mean all right or actually the name Albright?
No, all right.
Got it. Thanks for clarifying. Since it's basically a variation of all right, it comes from the same place, literally meaning everything is right or correct. That's one of those things where language just naturally squish two words together because we say it so that often. Wonder if you've noticed other words that started out as two separate ideas but eventually just became one.
Has the internet and texting made all right more popular? How?
Oh, absolutely. Texting is basically the fast lane for language evolution. When you're typing on a small screen, you're always looking for the quickest path to the point. So, all right just feels more efficient than all right. Plus, it fits the casual, breezy tone of a chat better than a more formal version. I bet you've seen it pop up way more in your own messages than you'd see in a textbook.
Maybe. Is all
Yeah.
right considered
Since you're into the
Is all right considered correct English, or do some people still prefer all right?
it's a bit of a divide. Most formal style guides and old school professors still insist that all right is the only correct way to write it. To them, all right looks like a mistake, sort of like how already and already are different. But in the real world, all right is used by millions of people, including writers and journalists. It's basically a battle between the rule book and how people actually speak. Do you usually lean toward the traditional way or do you go with whatever feels more natural?
Let's say all right. Okay, how has
Works for me.
how has the meaning of all right changed over time?
It's funny because it didn't really change so much as it expanded. It started as a very literal statement that something was completely correct or right, but over time it drifted into this middle ground word. Now it can mean I'm doing okay, that's acceptable, or even fine, I given. It's become less about being correct and more about a general state of being. Do you feel like it's more of a positive word or more of a neutral one?
I think it's positive. Okay, talking about tones, can the tone of all right change depending on how it's said? And can you give examples?
Oh, 1,000. Examples. Think about how all right can go from a supportive check in to a cold shoulder in just a few seconds. If you say it with a warm, rising tone, like, are you all right? It's pure concern. But if you say it flatly with a sigh, like, all right, I guess, it suddenly feels like you're barely tolerating the situation. Then there's the sharp, short version, all right, which is more like a command to stop doing something. It's wild how the same two syllables can feel like a hug or a warning, depending on the voice. Which one of those do you hear most often in your life?
I just heard the one where you're like, okay, all right, okay.
The agreement one. That's basically the linguistic equivalent of a nod. It's just keeping the conversation moving forward without making a big deal out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I wanted to ask
It's a
you
hand.
this. Why do you think such a simple word and many other simple words have become so common across different cultures?
I think it comes down to the fact that humans have a universal need for social glue. Simple words like all right or okay act as low friction ways to signal that we're on the same page. They don't require a lot of emotional energy or a deep dive into a topic. So they're perfect for crossing cultural lines where the goal is just to maintain harmony and keep things moving. It's almost like a universal shorthand for we're good here.
I
I'm
agree.
curious.
I agree.
It's a huge relief.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Are there similar affirmation words in other languages that have evolved in the same way?
Oh, for sure. Most languages have their own version of a social glue word. In Spanish, you've got vale, which is used constantly in Spain to signal agreement or just to show you're listening, much like how we use okay or all right. Then there's the Japanese hi, which can mean yes, but in a conversation, it's often more about acknowledging the other person than actually agreeing with our point. They're all just different ways of saying, I hear you, and we're still in sync. I wonder if you've ever tried to learn a bit of another language and found a word that felt like the okay of that culture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was the word?
Do you think all right will continue to be widely used in the future, or could another expression replace it?
I think it's got a pretty strong grip on us. So versatile and low effort that it's hard to imagine something better coming along. But language is always moving. So maybe in 50 years we'll have some new shorter sound that does the same job. I suspect we'll see more of those internet born phrases move into the mainstream first. Do you think the way people talk now will sound totally outdated to people in the future?
I think it would, honestly. Yeah, I do. Okay, my next question is: how do movies, music, and social media influence the popularity of words like all right? Like, I know this one artist who's Central C, and his all right is so popular.
Oh, definitely. Pop culture is like a giant megaphone for language. When a song goes viral or a character in a movie uses a word in a specific way, it gives that word a new kind of energy and makes it feel current. It's not just about the word itself, but the feeling associated with it. With an artist like Central C, his influence can make a phrase feel like a marker of identity or a specific subculture, which makes people want to adopt it to feel part of the world he's creating. Do you find that you pick up a lot of your own phrases from the music you listen to?
I mean, yeah, I think I do, but yeah. Okay, next question. Can one simple word like all right communicate different emotions such as agreement, assurance, hesitation, or anything else?
It absolutely can. It's all about the subtext. Like a quick, bright all right is total agreement, but a slow, drawn out all right with a trailing voice usually means you're hesitating or maybe even skeptical. Then you've got the steady, calm all right that's purely for assurance, like when you're comforting someone. It's basically a linguistic Swiss Army knife. Do you think you're better at picking up those subtle shifts in tone, or do you rely more on the actual words being said?
I have no idea. Okay, my last question. What is The evolution of the word alright teaches about how the English language changes over time.
It shows that English is basically a living, breathing thing that doesn't really care about the rule book. It proves that efficiency always wins. We'll always prioritize the easiest way to get our point across over the proper way to write it, and we'll let the collective habit of millions of people redefine a word's meaning long before any dictionary catches up. It's a bit chaotic, but that's what makes it interesting. Do you feel like you've got a good handle on all right now, or is there something else on your mind?
Nope. Thank you for answering all my questions. And that was it. Bye.
You're very welcome. It was great chatting with you. Bye.
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you liked this talk with Sesame AI. And see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz. Bye.